It's all screwed up out there, man, but you don't need me to tell you that. You already know.
Welcome to Deep Americana.
Again, I'm Ray Carney. I'm sitting here interviewing nobody special about facilitating creativity, how that can help with healthy mind states, the ideas, what happens with creativity and collaboration, how that can tie into community. And we officially announced the Cold War is over. Why should another person help another person? How does that make you feel, even?
Well, Ray, I mean, personally, I actually don't like people all that much.
Okay.
I guess it's the type of person that I like, and being a creative person. For me, helping other creatives is, I guess, more what I look towards. Mainly because as creatives and being in the art industry for 20 some years, it's almost impossible. So working together is really about the only way we can succeed many times.
Excellent. And that leads into the idea of community, right?
Yeah.
It's like when, how do you facilitate a community?
Well, I mean, we've kind of talked before, Ray, in my life in a way. I've actually helped form 2 cooperative galleries in Denver. That's the way a lot of times, especially artists themselves, can get together to have their own shows, to where it is a community of artists supporting each other.
Right.
Most artists will not get that opportunity to show unless they do something like that,
Right.
where they're working together.
Right. So, which is amazing. I've been a part of these types of communities myself. And my thinking, a lot of what I'm getting at with some of these types of questions is, imagine how, I know it makes me feel amazing to help someone else, and I too despise people. But, and so when you help somebody, you never know, you might need some help. And that'll generally come back around. And then within that, that's what kind of starts to help form a community. And I think that's something we're missing, especially in today's day and age, is that we need to get off our high horses, help each other, and focus on the community. So you have this concept, I believe, called No One, right? For an art collective?
Well, basically, Ray, I mean, the last 4 shows or so I've had in my life, Nobody special is me, in a way.
Right, okay.
It's kind of the ideas in art. I never actually enjoyed openings.
Right.
The idea that it was always about me and I had to sit there and basically sell myself.
Right. Which sucks. Yeah.
So towards the end and where I'm at now in my career, I could care less, to be quite honest with you, what people think about me or my art. So I put the idea that it is nobody. They don't even need to know who I am.
Right.
I actually enjoy that much better. It's much more freeing as an artist to get your ego out of the way.
Right.
In a sense.
Right. So is that something to help people to understand that? How to get rid of not get rid of your ego, but almost displace it with something that's generally hyper ego related?
Well, I've always thought that almost art in itself, or artists, are probably some of the most egocentric people on the planet.
No doubt.
You almost have to be, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, it takes the ego to say, I can do this.
Look at what I got, it's on the wall, and aren't I special?
Right.
Kind of deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I guess in a way, I do understand that. I do. It's just I'm to a point in my life now, I'm not looking for that kind of acceptance.
Right.
I'm beyond the idea that I really need somebody to say that something looks pretty.
Right.
And I guess, in a way, I know you're kind of getting at the idea with Nobody Special, which is kind of how we met, in a way.
Right, it is.
And there's a new show that I'm going to put on that is going to be a nobody special type of production that I may not even have a single piece in before it's all said and done.
Right.
Because I've found 6 or 7 Instagram artists so far, people I graduated with, and I say one random dude that I ran into in an art gallery one day,
Right.
which happens to be you, Ray.
Right.
And it continues to grow, basically, in a way.
Right.
This show was supposed to be done actually right now, but
Yeah.
because of the virus, was postponed for months. And so it's going to be a very interesting time even to show, I think, in Denver.
I think it'll be super interesting, and I think there'll probably be way too many people there.
It's going to be controlled.
Right.
I've already talked with the gallery in a way. It cannot be like it normally is.
Okay, good.
And regardless, Ray,
Uh-huh.
I won't be there. So it doesn't fucking matter to me, man.
Right.
I mean, I'll go there some other time, but I won't be there for the opening,
Right.
and I won't be there for First Friday.
Right.
And I don't know if most people know about the First Friday things, but that's all the looky-loos. That's all the hipsters that think they're cool that want to go around and say, hey, look at me.
Yeah, I know.
I've been looked at enough in my life. I'm getting uglier by the day.
Right. Okay.
So, it's just basically the idea. I've had it for years. I mean, that's with the co-ops that I helped start, just trying to give people chances, people that I enjoy their art, even some people that I don't really enjoy their art because they haven't had an opportunity.
Right.
There's one gal I
That's-
found out east that was homeless, was
Right.
not making art anymore.
Right.
All of a sudden, she made a few things, and I saw it on Instagram, and this girl is just like feeling a lot better about herself, I guess you could
Good.
say, right?
Yeah.
She's even talking about coming out here for the show. I'm like, well, I don't know if you want to come out here or not, but Colorado will welcome you, I guess.
Yeah. See, and that's that right there. You know, that's I've done a myriad of shows. I've done shows specifically under the moniker of the Bomb Shelter. I've done shows under the moniker of Sisterhood of Men. You know, that aren't too far from that, and it is one of the best feelings in the world, I think, to help someone in this manner that may not feel that good about what they're doing.
Or just not have an opportunity, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because there are some pretty damn good artists, actually.
Yeah. My favorite artists are people that don't make any money. You know.
I got this guy named Cape Art, who's actually an LA graffiti artist, who said
Uh-huh.
he'd do something. He's an interesting cat, too.
Cool, man.
I haven't talked to him about him yet. But, yeah,
That's okay. Cool.
Oh, no, he's a character.
Good.
He's doing a lot of tagging in LA right now.
Cool.
Well, that's like the streets of Denver, man. They're getting tagged left and right.
Which I think is an amazing thing.
They boarded it all up. It's a weird time. It's the most creative time in human history. I do believe that.
Yeah.
And it's because we're all locked inside, sorta.
Yeah.
I'm not, but I'm different than most.
Yeah. We all are a little bit. So I'm gonna move us into your other project that you've got going on.
The
what's
Go Fund Us?
Yeah, man. What's that about?
Well, I mean, it all coincides. It's all kind of one thing. It's kind of I call it the "We Not Me" movement, which is kind of like Bernie Sanders. That was his kind of slogan. And it's not. I'm not the first one, and I'll just spit it out there. It's a socialist idea. I don't give a fuck. People think that is a dangerous word.
Which is ridiculous.
I think capitalism is the dangerous word.
Well, or
Socialism
dangerous
is
practice.
that means we're working together.
Right.
We're not working against each other.
Yes. We're not in the cold fucking war anymore.
And
Let's
some
get
of
over
it's
it.
good. Don't get me wrong. Some of it's good. We need a little bit of everything. But to just deny what is right in front of us already, because people already take their Social Security check, they already get their Medicare, and they're not going to deny, oh, no, I don't want that shit.
Right.
What's adding a little bit more here and there?
Right.
So, I mean, really, ultimately, the GoFundMe page and stuff like that, there's needs in this world. I mean, this is kind of a broad concept, but there's needs in this world. The needs in this world, number 1 is air.
Right.
Number 2 is water.
Right.
Number 3 is food.
Right.
4 is shelter.
Yeah.
And 5, I say, is energy.
Right.
Everything else, Ray, is a want.
Right.
So if we can come up with a way to get those needs taken care of for people in a way,
Yeah.
in a small concept that could grow larger,
Okay.
So with my base idea, with just the show, so it's giving people the opportunity there to show work. If some of it sells, half of the profit I make will go into the GoFundUs page. The other half goes to the artist. Obviously, artists got to eat. They got to do what they want to do. Some of the artists are actually donating their work. So it depends on what the artist is doing and what they're capable of.
Right.
So with that small amount, basically, the first needs basically that I'm going to go for is water.
Okay.
I've already researched and donated my first $100 this last week, and $100 may not seem a lot to a lot of people,
Right.
but that saved 2 people's lives,
Okay. Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
So I know that I have now saved 2 people's lives from not having diarrhea.
Right.
And I said it very bluntly to you, it's basically their ass falling out.
Right. That's awesome.
And so with the idea, it starts small, but you start to take care of people's needs.
Right.
And you start with the people that are most in need. So you think about people that are literally dying of thirst right now.
Yeah.
Or dying of dirty water, which they say on average 15,000 people a day die.
Right.
And we just don't hear about these people
Right. No. Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And then you go to hunger, and that's another 10,000 people a day.
Right.
I mean, you just, the lack of shelter, there are probably people dying every day from that too.
All right.
So it's just a basic idea that if we start thinking more about ourselves as a group
Right.
instead of ourselves as an individual,
Right.
which in my personal opinion, if we don't, we're dead as a species.
Right. Yeah. I actually completely agree with you there. 100%.
So if we just get this mentality more where we're trying to take care of each other
Yeah.
instead of ourselves.
Yeah. Which is, side note, is community.
Correct, right? And we have in this country, and we've talked about this some, we have a sense in this country right now, it's so diabolically opposite that my neighbor is my enemy, is basically the mentality of people.
Right.
And we've got to come together a little bit more as a love and understand that
Right.
these needs that we have, if we take care of them, would make life much easier for all of us. And me personally, Ray, you know some of my story, I'm very privileged in certain aspects.
Yeah. Okay.
So it has given me an insight into trying how I can help
Right.
in that way.
Right. Well, that sounds beautiful.
If it works. The apathy is what's the problem, Ray.
Right.
And we've discussed that as well. I have literally given people money
Oh yeah.
and told them all you got to do is put half of it into my GoFundUs page and you can keep the other half.
Yeah.
They couldn't even do it, Ray.
Right.
So that's where, as we've kind of discussed, you bring a water to horse or bring a horse to water. If they're still not going to drink it, what are you going to do? You can stick their nose in the water. Eventually, they're just going to suffocate if they don't drink. But there's a lot of people out there just not ready to drink, I guess, right? So it's trying to figure out how a simple idea of just putting a few dollars in here and there can truly work. Because the apathy of people is that, well, what would $10 do? And I've said to you, well, I know there's 1 million people like me that can put $10 in. Way more than that, to be quite honest with you. And with that initial $10, you get $10 million in there. It's amazing what you can do with money like that.
Right. Right.
$10, not so much. But you start to grow that with people that truly believe.
Well, get people on board with helping each other in community with this, especially with this idea that you're talking about, could hopefully become kind of like this damn virus and spread, and other ideas from other people start popping. It just should. I'd want that to be super infectious, if you know what I'm saying.
And it doesn't all have to be about needs, right? That is my thing, to
Well,
be quite honest.
I think that is an amazing concept to achieve through that, because then you're leveling the playing field, and so instead of, what I see earlier this week, a young, 12-year-old black kid selling CDs in a mall gets arrested and like detained. And so if we come around to the correct ideas, and we should all be adults enough to understand what's happening there, is that kid selling CDs probably has a single mother, right? And that's probably a source of income for them. And so now he's gotten arrested. So there's what? A fine, so on and so forth. And so then that single mother, I mean, that could have been their only fucking income, is selling CDs, and now that's not there, and they it's ridiculous. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, Ray, you go right ahead, sir.
Oh man,
Was there
somewhere?
Yeah, you're going somewhere there. It's all good, man.
We're going somewhere. What were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about the needs of people, Ray.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay. And so yeah, so like with that young man, you know, that has happened to, which is an atrocity. Imagine if those basic needs are covered.
If we
He
did
wouldn't
that for
have to
the
lose
average
his
person.
innocence out here doing things that, you know, I'm pretty sure a majority of us have went through. Me especially, you know, is not having a child. Anyways,
For me, Ray, in a way,
what's up?
I've had that privilege. So I know what it has been able to do in my life
Right.
to have my needs always taken care of.
Right. Okay, I gotcha.
That has allowed me to be free in a way to do things that the average person will never get. And I realize that.
Right.
And in some ways, it's why I've come up. It's not. I've always said this is not my idea. I know it's not mine.
Right, okay.
It's just a vessel that it comes through.
Right, man.
I know Samo came up with it too.
Right.
They go way back. We go back like Socrates. He probably came up with some shit. Like that.
Probably. But that's the thing about ideas, man, that I think is beautiful, is that I notice when I work on stuff myself, you know, it's kind of like, hey, I can make something really cool. But when I work with someone else, especially creatively, and we share those ideas, you know, you make something pretty amazing.
And a lot of times, people with creative minds, Ray, are the ones that seem to be a little bit more open to ideas like this.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I've found even though too, I mean, they are just as closed-minded as well.
Oh yeah.
It's
No,
just
we-
it's weird how
Right.
that works.
Right. It's I think that goes back to old sayings, you know, that I can't even remember, but it goes back to, you know, you're so open to one thing, and that's why having a network of people in which a lot of times, as much you can handle, interact with about ideas, can help you not have so many blinders if you trust these people.
If everybody says yes to you all the time, nothing ever changes.
Yeah, then it's
It
probably
just
not the right
stays
thing.
the same.
And you might be turning orange.
It's like I said. I truly believe if we don't do something, and it may be too late. I'm hoping it's not. But it may be too late.
Right, man, right.
That if we don't do something as a species, we're dead. And I really want to get off this damn planet. To be
Right.
honest with you, I want to be more than a monkey.
I think that, yeah, that it's absolutely about community, and it's absolutely about not viewing this is mine, me, I.
It's ours, man.
Right.
This is one planet,
right,
one
right.
world. We're one species.
Right.
We've gotten
And
all
we need
confused.
we need to get with that concept sooner than later.
And if we don't,
Yeah.
we're going down that same road we've talked about.
Right.
And it's not a good one.
Oh yeah.
And most people know it.
No.
They just are too apathetic to think that they can truly do something to change the damn thing.
Yeah, I think people have a willful ignorance.
And we've also said there's a comfort. Once you get so comfortable, why would you want to get rid of that comfort?
Right.
And I
right,
get it.
right.
Like I said, I've had that privilege. I have a comfort in a way, but I've also suffered to a circumstance that has allowed me to understand that others need
Right.
much more than I do.
Right.
And why not, if you can, give?
Right. Yeah.
And there's so many people. We're sitting on a property right now, Ray. You know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
These people that we're talking to don't know what I'm saying, but it's a different world. And if we can create a world like that for ourselves, it could be a beautiful thing.
It could be a lot more we might actually evolve, actually.
That's the whole point, is evolving,
Yeah.
ultimately.
Right. Well, I think that was a kick-ass interview. We are out. This concludes my interview with Nobody Special. Thank you.